Hi, thank you for clicking. Thank you for showing up. We'll just get right into it. Just a guide on how to sell your property the right way, transparency all the way through, so you guys get a good idea of how to sell your property in 2025 and beyond. So we'll get started here. So, listing versus selling. Now, in my 10 years of doing real estate, I've seen just the listing side, and I'll admit it. In the beginning of my career, I was just listing a property as well, and I wasn't actually selling it. So you can see with the selling, photo measurements, market analysis, websites, social media, pre-home inspection, call outs with some neighborhoods, mail outs, some neighborhoods, open houses, private buyers, property checkups once a week. And I really want us to focus here on private buyers, and on other slides, I'll go into that because with private buyers is a bonus for me and a bonus for you guys as well, because we can cut down on the commission that we need to provide to the buyer's agent. Now, property checkups once a week. Some people are doing vacant properties which they're selling, and when nobody's there, it can get really just cold. People are going in with their shoes. It's just not very taken care of. The first week it looks good, but when the weeks go on, if it's on the market, it gets neglected. And you need a real estate agent to go there at least once or twice a week to check up on things. Make sure there's not a whole bunch of newspapers, outside the door. Make sure people are actually taking off their shoes and dusting the place as well, because how you treat your place, no matter if it's vacant or you're still there, it matters, man. Like, real estate agents and buyers can tell. And because of that, because they're like, okay, this is not taken care of, they might be somewhere else, they'll start to treat your property like that. And when they do put in an offer, that offer will reflect the neglect that it got. So just really just checkups on vacant properties, but we'll move forward. Now, with marketing, photos are the most important. First impressions matter, creates emotional appeal, conveys professionalism and trust, reduces time on market, higher sale price potential as well, and just outshines the competition. I always tell my clients, like, hey, just declutter. Just let us just go in there, declutter, make sure everything is looking, good and tip top shape. Let's get that to the show home ready. And I'll walk through the property with you. I'll be like, hey, let's hide this in the closet. Let's put this under the bed. Ain't nobody going in the pantry or your storage room or your closets or anything like that. And for the pictures, we just need it to look good in that moment to draw people in. After that, you still got to live there, you still got to cook there, so it's understandable. And we're not trying to deceive anybody at all, but just make it look like what it could look like. This is the property, this is how we do it. Now, if you're like me, I have kids. My upstairs right now has like just all toys. So sometimes it's difficult, but for the photos, I will be there an hour before the photographer comes. We'll go through the property. If we need to move things, take a picture, put it back, that's completely fine. But photos with marketing, ladies and gentlemen, is everything. Okay, so we gotta make sure the photos. So this right here is a property that I did last year with my client. It didn't always look like this. We went in there, we cleaned up, we put things away, we got it show home ready for the photos, and it definitely shows. And it helped us get 40-50 thousand dollars over asking. It helped us draw the people in right away. And this is what we want to see. Now, the curb appeal, there's only so much we can do because we do live in Calgary. Weather is all over the place, but the inside we can take care of, and we can really showcase it. Okay, multiple websites. So when you go, with us, or if you go with EXP, if you go with Real Broker, Century 21, CIR, you get on all the websites. So as soon as you hit the Remax website, all these other websites takes your information, takes your listing, and it puts it on there as well. So not only realtor.ca, which is, a lot of people, I would say 90% of people, that's where they head to, but you're also going on these other websites where these buyers might be signed up to, or that's where they're just familiar with, because when they Google search houses in Calgary, that was the first thing that came up. Okay. Um, Social media. Social media is huge now. It is personalized, it's direct, it's easy to share, the algorithm as well. And anytime you go anywhere, even when you're driving, when you're not supposed to, people are down at their phones and they're looking and they're scrolling, and it captures them. Now, for socializing at a personal level, that's not great. But for advertising and getting our property out there for everyone to see, it's awesome. And it's easy for them to share it, or save it. It's better, I think, than a website to really push this. And if we're looking at the most popular social media websites, it's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And these are the three that we are going to target to make sure your property gets out there, to make sure that it is seen by anybody with the algorithm that is looking to buy a home in Calgary, or specifically your neighborhood. Okay. Next here is pre-home inspection. I like to do a pre-home inspection because I don't want no surprises. Like I said before, I've been doing this for over 10 years. And when we do get an offer and there are conditions, one of the main conditions is a home inspection. And I don't want the home inspection come back and say, oh, you know what, pilot light is out, or there's leaking in the furnace, or there's attic rain that's happening, or there's mold somewhere, and then we have to adjust our price, or we lose momentum, they walk away, and then we're back on the market and we have all these people asking what happened. So the best thing that we can do is just do the pre-home inspection, make sure we have it all there. If they want to still do their home inspection, that's fine, but at least we know the ins and outs, the things that we can't see. That's what I want to accomplish with the pre-home inspection that you will get when you go with me. Pre-document review. A lot of people don't know what documents they need, and this definitely will help you guys. The biggest one is real property report, RPR, making sure that you have an updated one, or you haven't changed anything since you got the original one or when you bought it. But that's something that we can go through and we can just make sure that everything is on the up and up when we check it out. Title. I'll pull title just to make sure there's no easements, nothing's happening, things that you might not know that's on your title, any liens or anything like that. Make sure it's clear so that it's not an issue when it gets to the lawyers. Building permits, you'll be surprised. Like, I'll go into a basement fully renovated, be like, oh, this is a nice rec room, and they're like, yeah, we took a lot of time. And you start hearing like, okay, he did it all himself. Did you pull permits? No, I didn't. And that can be a problem. Some people won't touch a property if it doesn't have the right permits, because to get it permitted, you have to start tearing out stuff to check the plumbing and electrical and that sort of stuff. Now, it can be dealt with, we can definitely figure it out. It's not like, hey, you don't have permits, so you're not going to be able to sell your property, or instead of this price, we got to go this low. It's something that we together can figure out. So don't stress about that. But that's something that I always ask. Residential measurement standards in Alberta, we do measurements a little bit different. We don't just go by the builder's measurements. We do our own measurements just to make sure that the square footage is correct. So that's something that I provide, that I will go in and make sure that it's accurate. You'll be surprised. Some people are like, hey, my house is 2,500 square feet. I go in, I remeasure, and it's 1,800, 1,900. So it can be a big surprise for somebody. So just making sure the measurements are on point, that's what we're going to accomplish. Private buyers. Okay, we're finally here, ladies and gentlemen. So At the beginning, I said it's a bonus to you and a bonus to me. If we are doing all this marketing, if we're putting it out on social media, if we're going above and beyond to drive these private buyers in, then I want to make sure that we're saving money with these private buyers. And it's as easy as putting in maybe a private remarks in there saying, look, if your private buyer is getting shown by the seller's agent, which is me, and then they go off and they get a real estate agent, this is the commission that we're willing to provide. Why? Because it's the marketing that drew them in. It's me showing them the property and showing them the benefits and everything that there is. So if they want to get another real estate agent after that point, commission is going to be different. Also, if they don't have a real estate agent, somebody from my office or a colleague can represent them, making sure that there's no conflict of interest at all for a flat fee, and we're saving all around. And that's my goal, to make sure that you guys save money. The selling and the marketing should be drawing in those private buyers, which is a lot these days, because it's easy to get on social media or a website and find these homes without a real estate agent. We don't have the keys to the gate no more. All of this information and access is at people's fingertips if they want it. And if I'm going above and beyond with the marketing to draw these private buyers in, I want to make sure that you're saving money. And that's one of my goals. Okay. Selling process. So I always say, in any type of market, if you're priced right and we have the right marketing, we have the right pictures, the first 45 days we should be sold. We should ride the momentum in the first in the week 1, week 2, and then be conditional, and then hopefully by that 45-day mark it's sold and we're good to go. Now when it goes beyond that, that's when we start reevaluating price. We start saying, okay, was this the right move? Was this the right price? Where did we go wrong? And usually 90% of the time it's the price. So that's something that we need to work for. I want to stay in the orange. I don't want to go into the gray, because when you get to week 12, people start doing low ball offers. We start to become stale. There's a way to fix this. Maybe come off the market, reevaluate, and go back on a little bit stronger. But this is something that I tell all my clients: the first 45 days is the goal to get that price that you want, that bottom line that you want. We need to make it in the first 45 days. Okay. Commission transparency, and this is one of the biggest things. And in Calgary, the norm, it's not the standard, it's the norm, is 7% on the first 100,000 and 3% on the remaining balance. Now on a $600,000 property, that's $22,000 in commission, $11,000 to the buyer side, $11,000 to the seller side. And that's how it works. Now, is commission negotiable in Calgary? In Alberta, yes, it is. 100% is negotiable. But we definitely, sit down, we talk about that. We look at maybe, your neighbors and the people that sold, what was their commission that they were setting for the buyers at that time. My goal, my job is to sell this property no matter what. And again, bring in the private buyers with the marketing. And the little example there is, if a buyer's agent is introduced into the transaction after the buyer has already viewed the home privately with the listing agent, the commission will be adjusted to 1% of the final sale price. So this is just one example of how we can do it, and how we can look at the bigger picture and see where we can save money, or where we can put the commission to attract who we need to attract. Okay, so commission transparency, when we sit down, we can talk more about this. ABC Real Estate, the Smith team. Now look at it for a sec, gather it in. Okay, so when you first checked it out, when I went to this page, The Smith team stand out. They're boom right in your face, and they're the stars of the show. And that's not the case. It shouldn't, the 132 Fake Street shouldn't be off to that side with the small pictures and saying for sale. I'm not trying to sell myself. I'm not the star of the show at all. Your property is the star. Your property is the one that we need to get out there and put on social media and put on these websites and go door knocking and telling your neighbors like, hey, this is, if you have anybody coming to Calgary, if you have anybody that might be interested in this neighborhood, this property is going for sale. And it's not about me. It's not about me at all. It's about the property. I see it too many times. This is not knocking no real estate agent or broker or brokerage or anybody that does their marketing that way. But in my eyes, we do this for one reason: to help our clients sell their property, not help us sell ourselves. Or we get I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. Let's just, I'm passionate about this because, yeah, it just kills me. So, what we want to see is this. This is how I do it. So the main focus right away is the properties, how spacious it is. It's how, unique and beautiful it is. And also just, the price, the square footage, the best, the best. If you want more information, tonylewis.ca. It's a Remax brokerage that has this listing. And this is it. And maybe the next slide is going into the video and just the outline of the layout and all that sort of stuff. So this is the marketing that I like to do and what people see right away. Okay. Now everybody goes with a certain brokerage for a certain reason. I go with Remax. My first brokerage 10 years ago was with Remax. I had other brokerage in between, and I'm back at Remax just because of the brand recognition that they have. Somebody once told me that, like, hey, if you go up to a kid and you're like, hey, I got this brokerage right here that I'm going to pick on somebody, let's say, I don't know, Real Broker. And I got the Remax balloon, Remax right here. What do they do? That kid, 9 out of 10 times, would be like, oh yeah, they sell homes, they buy homes, Remax. I know that. I'm not too sure what that other place does. Maybe they do the same thing, but the Remax brand recognition is there. And credibility as well. In any type of market, we always stand true and stand up. And it's it's something that I definitely, I definitely admire about Remax, is that they just keep going. And the type of people that we have at Remax is all, all types of kinds of, men, women. I'm going down a rabbit hole as well, again, but races and like creeds and everybody that loves what they do and loves real estate and loves the brand. And it's really nice to see. So just yeah, just when you're looking at a brokerage or somebody, just see who they stand with, see who represents them and which way they're going. Is just important. Okay. um Me, this is where I sell myself. Okay, this is where it matters, and this is where you see my big face with my big head. So my parents, my dad specifically, he was flipping homes back in the day, and we used to go in there. We used to help him clear everything up, mow the lawn, get everything ready. So real estate has been in my life for a very long time, and I love homes that were built in the 1950s all the way to 2005. Though the unique homes, the ones that are not cookie cutter. The ones that are bungalows, bi-levels, four-level splits, those are the ones that I truly, truly admire and love, and like to see people just keep it original, or if they renovate and do something else. So just a little bit about me. What my clients say, Google reviews, and how I help them. If it's a buyer, seller, somebody that might have a tenant in place and don't know how to deal with it and want to sell their property, investors, I try to, really help everybody that I can when it comes to real estate. And my last bit is just don't list your property, find a realtor that can sell it. So like I said, in my early years as a real estate agent, I was just listing it. I was just going in there doing pictures, measurements, meeting the people, list it, and then forget about it. And when there was an offer that came up, that's when I would call them and say, hey, we have an offer. Okay, great, let's go. I wasn't truly selling the property. And you can download this guide, go back, see what it means about selling the property, going above beyond. Every community is different. Every community is unique in its own way. So how do we make sure that this product, this house, this star gets seen by everybody? And just, there's always a chance. Market's always going to be different. Sometimes it's going to be a seller's market, sometimes it's going to be a buyer's market, but just aggressively selling it and making sure that you sell in the first 45 days is my goal. So little of me, that's the guide. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully I hear from you soon. And blessed day, blessed year, and have a good one. Peace.